Every major government recently realized the same terrifying thing. They are digital vassals. They realize that in the modern world, national sovereignty is just polite friction. Think about it. You can have the flag, the borders, and the army, but if your banks, hospitals, and power grid runs on a computer that you don't own, in a cloud that you can't control, governed by laws that you didn't write, are you actually a country? Or are you just a client state renting space from an empire? We can pinpoint the exact moment the borders were deleted. 2018. That was the year the United States passed the Cloud Act. And this wasn't just a law, it was a global seizure moment. They gave the US government the legal right to seize data from American servers anywhere on Earth. It didn't matter if the server was in Tokyo, Berlin, or Riyadh. If an American company owned that server, the American government owned that data. You've likely seen the headlines about the Swiss Subnet this week. But to understand the real magnitude, we have to look past the press release. When you dig into the Swiss regulatory findings, you find the smoking gun. The Swiss privacy regulators didn't just prefer a new cloud, they ruled that under the current US law, it is effectively illegal to entrust sensitive citizen data to Microsoft or Amazon. Why? Because of a technical vulnerability called encryption in use. The moment you process data, it sits unencrypted in memory. That is the window where the US jurisdiction applies. So they built custom architecture on ICP to close that window. First, they realized that decentralization doesn't mean random. They handpicked 13 independent node providers to run this network. These are not crypto bros in a basement. They are enterprise-grade Swiss data centers. But the critical spec isn't who they are, it's where they are. The protocol erects a digital geofence around them. The code ensures that the data physically cannot leave these 13 machines. It effectively creates a sovereign vault that replicates only within the Swiss border, never touching a server in Virginia or Beijing. But the ultimate shield isn't the hardware, it's the math. Because the network is split across 13 independent companies, no single entity holds the keys to your data. To subpoena this network, a foreign government would have to legally compromise 2/3 of these independent rivals simultaneously. That is a legal impossibility. They replace trust in a company with trust in a consensus mechanism. And that is the only foundation strong enough to build true sovereignty. Now let's look at the rest of the board. Switzerland didn't just build a cloud, they started a geopolitical landslide. I've uncovered 3 other global titans that are currently trapped in the same room, scrambling for the same exit. The UAE isn't just building AI, they're building a shield. Project Falcon is their desperate attempt to save their post-oil economy from a US kill switch. Europe is bleeding. Gaia X is their frantic attempt to stop American clouds from stealing industrial secrets. And China? China has gone nuclear. Document 79 orders the total purge of American software by 2027. They're literally deleting the empire from their hard drive. The panic is global, the demand is screaming. They all need jurisdictional firewalls. But there's one problem. They're running out of time. Put yourself in the shoes of the world leaders right now. You're cornered, you need to leave the American cloud. But what are your options? You look at building your own intranets, but that is economic suicide. You sever the cables, you turn into North Korea. You miss the entire global digital economy. So that's a hard pass. You look at public blockchains, but that's digital nudity. You can't put state secrets on a public ledger. You might as well live stream your nuclear codes. You look back at AWS local zones, but you know that is digital surrender. It's just a cage with a different name. you realized the door was just painted on the wall. Do you feel the desperation? There was literally no technology on Earth to solve this paradox until now. The Swiss blueprint is the only key that fits the lock. It's the only architecture in history that creates a private room inside a public house. It gives you the North Korea security with a global connectivity. It's the only way to keep a nation from sinking. And when a drowning man sees a lifeboat, he doesn't ask who built it. He climbs in. Switzerland wasn't the test pilot. They were the vanguard. They proved that the math holds up against the law. Now that the blueprint is public, the floodgates open. The Splinternet is no longer a theory. It's here. We are witnessing the beginning of the great digital exodus. Trillions of dollars of data are about to migrate from the cloud to the chain. History is repeating right in front of us. In the 1500s, the printing press made information impossible to censor. The kings tried to stop it. They failed. In the 2020s, the sovereign cloud makes data impossible to seize. The empires will try to stop it. They will fail. The old world was built on rent. The new world is built on sovereignty. The transition isn't coming, it has already happened. We're just the first ones to notice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, stay blessed and see the signal.